AI has completely changed the game. In the last year alone, we watched tools go from generating text to generating entire applications. The line between AI and no code is blurring fast, and some people think no code is already obsolete. I think the truth is more interesting than that. That's why we're running this challenge. Over this series, I'm putting 6 of the top platforms, Lovable, Flutterflow, Base 44, Adalo, Claude Code, and Bubble, through the exact same test. We're going to build the same app on the same budget with the same rules. There's no cherry picked demos, no highlight reels, just the raw, unedited experience of building from scratch. The app? It's going to be a fully functioning coffee shop app for a coffee shop to manage their store. The catch? It has to ship as a PWA, a native iOS app, and a native Android app. 3 real deployments, no shortcuts. And we're doing this because everyone has the same question. Which tool is actually the best fit for you? Whether you're completely non-technical, a designer working in Figma, a spreadsheet power user, or somewhere in between, the answer is completely different. But nobody's put these tools to the test like this. But enough talking about it, let's get straight to it. Okay, now we're back in ChatGPT and we're ready to generate our PRD, our project requirements doc. So I'm just going to type into the form field here. Actually, I'm going to use a tool that allows you to use speech to text. You do not have to use this tool. There's plenty of other options. There's even free open source options. I've just been using it for a while and I'm kind of used to it. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and use WhisperFlow to explain to the AI what I would like. Create a PRD for a simple, modern coffee shop app. Don't get into the details as far as the tech stack goes because the AI generator will handle that. Instead, handle the requirements, the user flow, the required screens, the features needed, etc. Keep it very basic, simple app. We don't want it to be too complex. We just want users to be able to order coffee, be able to, have a checkout, guest flow, user authentication, as well as, past orders and favorites, something simple like that. And then I'm actually going to set it to 5.2 thinking. That way, it's just a little bit more intricate in its thought and it has deeper reasoning to spend a little more time on the PRD and come up with something a little bit more detailed and thorough. Awesome. And our PRD is already generating. Starts out with our goal to create a clean, fast coffee ordering app. The target users include the guest customer who wants a quick order without creating an account. It also includes a returning customer who wants the faster ordering or faster reordering, favorites, and order history. Then it has our user flow. So, you would open the app, go to the home menu, and you could browse categories, select the item. From there, you would customize the item and add it to your cart. Then you could view the cart where you could adjust your quantities, remove items, etc. And then, of course, check out. But I won't go through the entire PRD. I think you get the point. But I would suggest that when you go through this process yourself, make sure you cover the main points, such as clear scope and success criteria. Features, what's required, the users in Go, etc. User flows. Think what the user is trying to accomplish and each step and screen they'll encounter along the way. And then examples and references. This isn't required, but you can mention other apps in your industry or even outside it for examples of what you like to incorporate, like pieces of, such as, layout, design patterns, user flow, etc. So this is great. The next step I would say is you could easily jump into a builder app. Like we're going to be using Lovable first. So we could easily jump into Lovable and start creating and tweaking things and, prompting the AI to build us an app. But what I've come to realize is the app can take many forms and it can look very different depending on how you prompt it or, whatever edits you may ask for down the line, which is completely fine. That's all part of the process. However, me personally, I like to get a visualization of what's going on. Like with this PRD, we've clearly built out the screens and the user flow of how the app should flow. I like to turn that into graphics so we can visually see the screen. Plus, I know not everyone is a designer. Not everyone understands the best practices when it comes to designing the layout of a mobile app or a website. So I like to use a resource from Google. It's called Google Stitch. I'm going to take this PRD, bring it over to Stitch, and then allow that to start generating mockups of our screens. So let me just copy and paste this. I'm gonna open up a new tab and I'm gonna go to stitch.withgoogle.com. Here we are. This is what Stitch looks like. I'm just going to exit out of this notification. And right here, you can choose your model like any other AI tool. You can do fast, flash, thinking with pro. I'm going to select thinking with 3 Pro just so we can, again, process the information better and think more deeply and have more intricate thoughts and explanations around why we're doing what we're doing. So I'm just pasting this in. Again, this type of app probably only needs the screens, like the order of the screens and what each screen should have on it. However, pasting the whole PRD, giving the context of the goal, the target users, I find that more times than not, adding the extra context just allows the AI to understand exactly what we want and understand exactly how things fit together and how it all works together. Like in my experience, I know we want to watch out for the context window and giving too much context to where the AI gets bloated and confused and starts hallucinating. However, I truly believe as long as you're not, uploading 80-page PRDs here, that more context is better than not enough context. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and enter this and send it to Google Stitch. We could add more detail to this prompt, like describing how I want the app to look, but I'm going to kind of let AI take the reins, build what it thinks. And if I don't like the color scheme or the layout or anything, we can iterate on that and we can discuss that as well. So there we go. I hit enter and it's now loading. And as you'll see, it's just taking its time to start creating. In a second, it'll explain what it's creating, kind of just like an introductory prompt or, explanation. Like right now, it just says coloring outside the lines. That means it's thinking and building up those mock-ups. And it says estimated time 100 seconds. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screens of our app. Now, I would have to go back to the PRD to see if it created every single screen we needed. But if not, we can actually prompt it to create more screens. We can specifically say, hey, you forgot the purchase order screen, the purchase history screen, and have that implemented. But with that said, I'm just going to give Google a few seconds to generate and we'll come right back so you don't have to wait through all this time with me. All right, and we're back. As you can see here, Google Stitch has created our 10 screens for our app. This includes the menu, the item details. So if you select an item from the menu like caramel latte, here it is right here, breaking down what all it includes in the description, the price, and the add to cart button. Then we have your cart screen, the checkout screen, the order confirmation screen, the order status, so you know how long it takes for the order to be ready, your account, your past orders, favorites, and the sign in. Overall, I think this is pretty good. We could probably use like a splash loading screen that was mentioned before, but I think this is pretty good. Now, there's two ways we can go about providing this or using this when building our app. We can simply have this off to the side in a separate window on a separate screen or however you like to do it and build in Lovable while constantly referencing those images. However, if there's any image that's like particularly perfect, we can also export these images and then ask Lovable to build what we want it to build. We can provide the prompt, including our PRD, but we can also include these images for references so it knows how to structure and lay out the page. And then if we click on any screen, we can download it itself, but we can also download the entire project here. And that's how you'll get those screens on your hard drive, on your local machine, and have the ability to upload them and start prompting your AI with the image. However, before I want to step into that realm, I kind of want to play with these a little more. I like the layout. I like the screens it's provided. Like, let's take a closer look, actually. I'm pretty happy with these. Like, this is a nice main menu screen. It's a really good looking items detail screen. Cart looks good. Checkout looks really good. So yeah, in my opinion, everything looks really great. It's pretty professional looking. It's very clean. My only gripe or complaint myself is this green, this bright green we're using. It's just it feels like it doesn't feel like the right energy or the right aesthetic for a coffee app, or at least what we're going for, what I'm going for. Brew and Go. I kind of like that name though. But all right, let's say this is great. However, I don't like the green palette. Let's keep everything modern, classy, and upscale by keeping the white and gray light scheme, light mode design scheme that you have here. But also, let's use a different color other than the green. Let's use something that fits more in an upscale coffee business environment. And there we go. Just prompted that in right there. And it's now generating. Again, we'll just give it a few moments and we'll come right back once it's done generating. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, the AI has replied and it's created what it thinks is a better look. You might be wondering, well, where are they at? What's the changes? Everything's still green. However, if we zoom out a bit, we can see our new ones are down here. There we go. And it's kept the white and grays, the light mode style, which I was a fan of, but instead of the green, it's opted for a black and gold, which it just feels way more consistent with the type of app we're building. Like this looks good to me. This feels good. Like this is the brand identity and the design that I would like to execute here. So I think this is perfect. So I will download these project files just so I have them, but I'm actually going to move this window to another screen here. And I'm just going to use this as a reference image. I'm not going to initially give it the screens, I don't think. We'll see how it goes first by not giving it the screens. And then I may start over giving Lovable the prompt with the PRD and the screens. Awesome. We have everything we need to start building our app. We have our PRD, which outlines everything our app should have, and we have our mockup, which clearly outline and show exactly what our app should look like for the most part. In the next video, we're going to jump into Lovable and start building. I'll see you there.